frozen to giddy up there on YouTube, but
frozen?
I'm not sure what happened. But we're back.
Baby's back. Back again.
Who's that? Is that old guy?
Baby's back? Back again? Baby's
Baby back, baby
no,
back,
that's
baby
not,
back
it's not
ribs?
the chili commercial.
No, it's not.
Baby's back. Back again.
I don't know.
Baby's back.
We're all frozen in the Texas tundra.
The Texas fucking tundra.
Yeah. What's going on, guys? Hey,
insane.
we're staying warm, man. We're going to share this shit out to
We're going to share it.
Facebook and all the
I got
stuff
Facebook
real quick.
for you and I. You do Facebook for the bars open.
All right. Yeah, you guys, I hope you guys are all doing well. We are hanging in there, of course. It's Wednesday night, day number, what, 4, 5, 4
Day
of
number
freeze.
Monday, Tuesday, 4.
Yeah, it's been cold. Sorry. If my internet's going in and out, it's nothing I can do about it. It's just the streaming quality. So we will see. Hopefully,
Yeah, it's kind of
streams
par
right.
for the weather.
Yeah.
So
It looks like it's glitching a bit. Shit. Hopefully. We're trying, guys.
if it's not one thing with this storm, it's another.
Yeah.
So
Internet. I'll drop it out after if you guys can't see it or whatever. What's going on, Julia? But it looks like it may connect, but we've got everything else in the house shut down, so it can push through. So hopefully we'll be able to have a quick show tonight.
I haven't.
Not a quick show, but a regular show. Get
Might
it?
be a quick show if it keeps like this.
No, we'll just record it and we'll just post it out after.
That's funny.
Live now. Yeah,
Okay.
so I hope you guys are doing well. Lloyd, Julia, D, what's happening? Yep, we're just chilling. Literally, fuck, man. It's been a crazy few days.
Yeah. So D, did you guys lose power?
I don't know. A lot of people have lost power.
Well, she says crossing fingers keep power.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say anything about what we have and don't have because every time we say something positive,
Yep.
something breaks.
Yep.
So I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to say we're surviving. We're survivors.
I will survive. Hey,
Hey,
hey. Yeah, Dangeroso, what's going on?
It's
Yep. So we're just chilling. We've been semi-lucky with some of our stuff compared to our neighbors. So, hey, cheers from the bars open
Oh,
to
wait, I'm not
everybody
open
out
yet.
there. It looked like the internet just went down, but we'll keep going.
son of a mother.
All right, we're going to keep cruising along.
So I'm reading this
We'll see what
book, and I'm going
happens.
to talk about them in a little while. But hold on, let me take this sip.
As I am recording this, so if you guys
His-
jump off, we'll see what happens.
His
Fully understand.
grandfather doesn't curse. Like he uses
Yeah.
the president's name to curse. So he'll be like, "In the love of Ronald Reagan, why are you doing that?" Or or like, "That's Ronald Reagan, stupid." Or so
Yep.
it's kind of funny. I thought it was funny, and that's what you just reminded me of for some reason. Could be that I'm tired. I don't. You know what this storm has done to me? I'm tired.
Yeah, just tiring.
I'm tired.
So Dangerous said this is Bets.
Huh?
Like Betsy from Phoenix? Bets? Sorry, guys. We're trying over here. Figure we try and get something to you guys. If
Julia, hopefully we're not gone.
if
but-
not, like I said, I'll post this out after and I'll follow along in it. And we'll
crazy.
comment as we go. But
we're gonna try to do a show.
yeah.
We may or may not stay on very long, but we'll have a little bit
Yeah,
of fun.
we got the
and
gig internet going. We got everything. we can
everything's
get
turned
going.
off that can be turned off. Now, this did happen during the day for us too. So our
Makes no
neighbors
sense.
across the street were without internet and cell phone service for some reason all day yesterday. Do you know? Did they have it today?
He got it back. Yep,
Okay.
they got it back and they were smooth. So
No, I don't know. It's maybe it's time for us to plug and unplug here
oh, Betsy. Sorry, Betsy. It's Betsy from
from work.
my work. Yeah.
Oh,
Hey. Yeah. So it looks like it's going to be choppy. We'll
so
have
we know
about
several Betsies, so that's why.
That's why. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have it'll be about an hour show tonight. So.
Hopefully,
Yeah, we've
if,
got some fun things to
if
talk
we
about.
can-
Some
if
not
we
so
can keep
fun
it
things.
going.
But yeah, again,
It's
I'm
all an
recording
adventure,
this.
fun or not fun, right?
But
I
if
mean,
you do end up not being able to check it out right now, just go out and check it with Beth and Greg on YouTube, and then also you can listen to it on Spotify, iTunes, and Podbean as well later on. If you're looking for something to do,
something to do.
yeah.
Once
something-
if we aren't live, it'll definitely be recorded.
I will rip this thing as soon as I can. So it's not UD, it is definitely us. Our internet is definitely.
See, I think all of our internets keep going in and out because it's the
sketchy.
last thing that hasn't had a problem yet. So,
Yeah.
of course, it's lined up now. So here's the crazy thing, right? So we finally hit above freezing. I think we got to 41 degrees today. All the snow melted, which is great. I told you when I walked out this morning with the dogs, I was like, is it raining? But it was just everything was starting
coming off
to
the
melt.
trees and everything
Trees,
else.
the roof, everything that I literally thought it was raining.
Right.
We get to another storm is blowing in tonight.
Yep.
When I was outside with the dogs earlier, I felt the wind change and it's automatically started dropping. Another chance of, I think, sleet tonight and then another chance of snow tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah. So it's going to be fucking wonderful around here for the next. We got to make it like literally like
To
36
Friday.
hours.
To Friday. Once
Friday's
it
gonna
hits
be
Friday,
48
it's 40.
degrees.
Yeah. And then Saturday's 50 and we continue to go up and up and up.
So it's interesting.
So we almost beat the record of the longest time period below freezing. It was 100. The record was 108 hours below 32 degrees, and we made it to 106 hours, which is insane to me. So our poor heater. Today was the
it
first
hasn't
day
stopped. Yeah,
that it literally had.
So I did.
a
I
break.
literally just before we went on, I looked up what was the coldest temperature ever recorded in San Antonio, Texas, and the temperature was 0 degrees. Recorded in January, but it doesn't give me the fucking date. January 31st of 1949. We hit 9 degrees. This was the first time, or the coldest it's been since 1989 here.
What was the
degrees.
temperature in 89? Oh, 89 was 9 degrees?
Yeah.
We hit that this time, didn't we?
Yeah. So that's literally, I mean, you're thinking about that. That's 31, 32 years ago. So it's pretty.
So the last time we had a storm
incredible.
this big was 1985. I think it was, I don't remember when I just remember I was having a slumber party and about 9 girls got stuck at my house for 2 or 3 nights.
Right.
Which I'm sure my parents were like, oh, yippee, you
Right.
know. But we were like 14, 15, so it wasn't like we were children. But I do remember that my dad piled us all into his truck, his old Ford truck, and drove us to.
Yeah.
Unlike that time, no fast foods, nothing was open. Like we tried to go. Not when I say we, I mean you tried to run out yesterday and
There was
see
nothing
if you could get
open.
some hot food.
That's kind of one of the weird things around here that's going on right now is nobody has power, right? And if you think you're on electric stoves, not everybody has gas stoves and
Right.
grills out in their backyard.
So
and
if
shit.
you
It's
had
wintertime.
gas, it would still work even though the power is out.
Yeah,
Okay.
you just have to light it with a lighter.
Right, because there's not a charge.
Be real careful and shit like that, right?
You mean don't pull a Greg LaMontagne, which we will
We'll talk
explain a
about
little
that
bit later.
But you see all like the fast food places that
Mm-hmm.
are open, their fucking lines are
Yeah, ridiculous. Because you said Bill Miller's
tonight, I went
was.
to look for gas, and like we have 3 gas stations right up here in Helotes where we live. Gas
Because they
is
say
all
there's
gone.
going to be a gas. They've already predicted there's a gas shortage.
All 3 of those gas stations are out,
Mm.
but the Burger King that's attached to one of them
Busy.
had a fucking line that was all the way. I mean, through the parking lot, all the way
People
around.
just want
and
hot
out on the street.
food, you know.
They just want hot food, yeah, and that's exactly it. The McDonald's and everything else, it's pretty close, and you think the infrastructure. It's just
Well,
they're
and
not
but here's the
open.
crazy thing that I'm also as I talk to coworkers.
Joe, what's happening?
People will say I'm on one side, and my niece even said this. I'm on one side. I have no power. Directly across from me, the people across the street have power.
In our neighborhood, it's the same
I don't
way.
understand
Yeah.
how that happens.
So yeah, you guys are looking or watching online on YouTube. It's probably going to be pretty choppy, or it's going to be kind of coming in. That's our internet right now. So I will be dropping this out in an hour and a half or so. I'll drop this out to
After
YouTube.
we eat dinner.
Yeah, after we eat our chili. But yeah, so it's understandable if you're not going to be on live right now, but we're going to definitely put some.
Yeah, we'll
shit
still
together
keep
for you
going, and
guys.
hopefully you guys can catch up with it a little bit later.
Right.
We're just really talking about the historic event that has been our week.
Right. And it's interesting because Beth and I have lived through some kind of interesting historical events. Like we were talking about it. I was like, how does this happen? And it's not a good or a bad thing. It's just
It is
just
what
shit.
it
It
is.
is what it is. Like
Yeah.
we were in Colorado Springs when the Waldo Canyon fire happened. And that was a fucking monumental shit show of a fire that was in our backyard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And one of the things I think is good about you and I, we keep our cool for the most part.
Well, one of us always does.
Yeah.
Typically, it's you.
Yeah.
This one I haven't. I've been okay.
No, I
like,
know.
I got
Absolutely.
a little grumpy with the pipe thing yesterday, but I was like, what am I gonna do?
Right.
But the fire, I lost my shit.
but it's just one of those things. It's like, it's kind of weird, like historic events kind of.
Yeah. Because then you were talking about the temperature thing we went through in Phoenix where they had like 3 or 4 days over 120 degrees in a row.
And then 110 plus for, a month on end.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of weird,
Now
like
this.
historical kinds of
The rain
things.
here in
Rain when
18,
we
now
moved.
this.
Yeah. So, but it's one of those things. It's
Mother
just
Nature
gotta
giving us
keep your shit
adventures.
together as much as possible, right?
Yeah.
And just really one of the big things is when I think this goes back to just I don't want to call myself a prepper by any means, but I'm prepared.
Yeah.
And I think most people after even like during when the pandemic, like the coronavirus bullshit, COVID-19 kicked off,
Mhm.
right? And people are like, oh shit, I didn't have toilet paper or I didn't have these sorts of, those, the shit you need to have.
Staples.
Right. Pasta and rice. And, if you can't
Ground
have,
beef. And
you have
spaghetti sauce.
capability to have a
simple stuff.
freezer and freeze some of that stuff is having supplies
Right.
around it and hand wash, just soap and stuff like that, right? Is we learned that when we were in Colorado.
And prepping for blizzards.
Right. Just in case, because everybody was like, it could happen.
Right,
You don't
at the
know.
drop of a
Get some
hat.
extra toilet paper.
Right.
Get some water. So we started doing that, and that kind of just
Has
continued.
progressed. I mean,
As
I don't want to say progressed, but
we're
we've
not crazy.
continued.
Yeah, we
No,
don't.
but
I mean, I've got plenty of toilet paper and plenty of fucking paper towels and stuff, but I
Well,
always
some of
do.
that's just by design because every time we go to Costco, we get a pack
Right.
of toilet paper
But I
and a
always
pack
have.
of paper towels for no other reason than we don't know when we're gonna run out.
Or go to the Costco again.
Yeah.
But it makes you
Yes.
think okay, this is why you do that.
Right.
It's for times
Well,
like
because
this.
you went out yesterday. Well, you went out Monday and yesterday. So
Monday I just went out.
you and Ian went out and you
We went to the local little
corner
Walmart
store down
neighborhood
yeah,
store.
a little about
Which is
5 miles
closed,
from
by
here.
the way, right now.
Oh, is it?
It's all blacked out. Yep.
So HEB was closed that day though.
Yep.
HEB is then open now yesterday and today. Yesterday from 12 to 5 and today 12 to 9.
Yeah.
But you said that it was pretty much cleaned out. Like you got what you could,
It's Kamyanka.
but you said that it was there a line?
Well, no, I
when
didn't
you
even
went?
know. I didn't know it had just opened either, though.
Oh,
That was the thing.
okay, so
I
you
just
probably got
happened to
there.
roll by there because
you
remember
probably
I was
got there
going to get.
because on the news they had ridiculous lines. Like people were waiting in line
Well, the thing
in
was,
12-degree weather. To
I
get
was
in the
just
store.
going there, like, because it's right in our little neighborhood, kind of
Right.
like across the highway. And I remember we wanted something different to eat
We
than.
wanted something hot
Yeah,
that
well,
we didn't have to make.
And I was like, well, there's McDonald's. I even looked at like the Burger Fi place. Everything was closed. All the power was out everywhere. So I
Right.
went down a little ways, turned around, and I said, let me just drive by the grocery store. I was like, oh, it's open. So I went in. It
No
was
line yet?
fine. And then literally while I've already got, and it was like I normally go grocery shopping on Monday nights.
Right.
Or we pick up our groceries,
Right.
one or the other.
'Cause I do curbside.
We get apples and bananas and just the normal
Turkey
stuff.
and
We're not
bread and
hoarding shit. It was
Yogurt,
just
stuff we eat throughout the
a
week.
steak,
Like,
that
yeah,
we split.
steak, some chicken.
Right. And then all of a sudden I notice, I'm like, holy shit, this place got packed.
Really?
Yeah. The whole back aisle where all the dairy is and everything. And I'm like, all I needed, like I wanted a thing of milk for like coffee and like your hot
Hot
chocolate
chocolate.
and stuff like that. And all of a sudden it was just like, oh shit, there's like, it just opened or something.
Right.
And there's a mad fucking rush
So
of
you
people.
probably got in before there was.
And I had no idea.
Yeah.
And it was just
By the grace
coincidental.
of God, you got in there,
Yeah,
and
that I just happened to go into the grocery store.
that's crazy. So,
Looks like we're connecting a little bit better now. So yeah, we're safe. So Sandy asked, "Are we safe?" Yeah, we're
we
good
are. We're
here.
safe. We've had some adventures. We woke
Yeah.
up Monday morning.
Yep, to no water. Monday, yeah,
Monday, yeah, because yesterday was Tuesday. So Monday,
Monday
morning to
morning.
no water,
yeah,
and we couldn't figure out
yeah.
why.
And then I saw on we have a
Somebody-
pretty good like little local neighborhood
Facebook page, which we had never we've never had a water softener before.
Yeah, in the water softener, and I happened to be scrolling through at some point in the afternoon, like, what in the fuck? We don't have water. And then somebody said, hey, check your water softeners. Not to me, just out there.
Right.
So I went out there with the blow dryer, and I heard the ice
Blow-dried
go
it.
through, and all of a sudden we had water.
Oh, we had water.
Yep.
And I was like, I could take a shower.
And then, so we've been running the water. We've been doing all the
Yeah,
things.
we have it dripping
and-
overnight. Today was the first day we turned it all off. After the show, we're going to turn it all back, like the dripping back on.
And then yesterday we
And
had a
then
pipe
yesterday
burst,
with the pipe burst.
but it was outside of our house.
Oh my gosh, so lucky that it
Yeah.
was outside our house.
Yeah.
Hence the
Because-
reason why we started dripping everything.
Yeah, the thing, I don't know why they built it this way. Our outside faucets, like for your hoses
spigots?
and stuff like that, are outside of the walls.
Are they not normally
Ian was saying everybody else's is
inside?
Is like built through your house.
I'm glad they aren't, because our neighbor across the street, they had a pipe burst and they had no idea until water started
You
gathering
hear
around
them out
his
with hammers
foot,
and chisels and
around his foot in his office. He's like, all of a sudden, I'm in 6 inches of water, and I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah. So to your point, your question, Sandy,
But we're not saying that, because every time we
there are so many people without
oh
power.
my gosh,
like
so many. My niece
millions
and
of
nephew
people.
came over yesterday just
To get coffee.
to make coffee.
Yeah.
So they could have warm
Made 'em
drinks
4
while they
pots
had
of coffee.
Well, they have no power. So
Yeah. And then they get back home and their power's back on.
yeah, but it was
And
back
then it
off
goes
this
back
morning.
off.
This morning it was off
At
again.
least they had 4
so.
pots of
She said that it was enough to warm the house, so
Yep.
that the house would be warm for majority
So
of
it's
the day.
crazy. So that kind of gets me into a couple things.
I did see somewhere that the governor is wanting he's wanting a study or a
Investigation.
into the Texas energy blah 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 blah.
All of our pipes are wrapped. This can be on.
Oh yeah,
all
they
of
were
our pipes are
they were
wrapped.
even the one that busted was
Yep,
wrapped.
everything
So
is wrapped.
I just think
It just happens, and
it's so cold. It was just
yeah,
I don't
it's
know.
9 degrees.
Can you buy
10 degrees?
Can you buy thicker wrap? I don't
pool
know.
noodles and then the foam insulation shit that you put around them and you tape the shit out of them. That's all you
We
can
put
do.
towels on the
I put I
water
did. I was
softener
like
so that we
whatever
would
I can do. Yeah,
keep it from refreezing. So
yeah. But you were saying Governor Abbott, but it's too late. It's
well,
like
no, but and I did read somewhere like this is almost like a century storm. Like this won't happen in our lifetime again.
yeah,
Likely,
maybe, hopefully.
I know, right? But in order to prepare for any possibility of this happening, even slightly, where it's
it's the infrastructure.
I know,
built
but
into
how? Why is it taking so long? But you had a good point, because they did say on the news every single so this freeze impacted solar. It impacted
yeah, because you have snow covering all your solar fields.
but solar, the
Windmills, wind turbines.
wind turbines, every single type of green energy that they've put out there, it couldn't handle this.
Yeah.
Like if we would have just had regular
Because this shit doesn't happen. The last time something like this happened was 1989
5.
or 85 or whatever, right? And you think about that, and it's just it doesn't happen.
Yeah, I know.
And
I know.
it's the
But
weirdest thing.
I think some heads are gonna roll between the CPS, and now we found out tonight that we have to boil our water for drinking purposes.
Just as they said it as
Drinking
an
and washing hands.
abundance
no,
of
it was shower
caution,
and washing
right?
hands was fine, but consumption of the water was.
Yeah.
And I was like, ooh, and it's because so many pipes have burst that the water pressure is just like for the city is screwed.
So that's where I think we're gonna see more plumbing. So a lot of people are just having plumbing pipes.
That's
just
a lot of
their
it.
Plumbing.
Yeah.
Because their electricity's going out, and then they're not shutting their water off and opening the valves. So if you ever live in a really cold place and your power goes out and it's going to go out for multiple, turn the water off. Open all your valves. It'll let the water bleed out of the system.
Oh, so that way it
they're
builds
empty.
back. Yeah.
Right? So that there's no water pressure to
So
come
they said
in.
it's going to end up probably being worse though too, because people who don't have water but don't have a busted pipe will likely have a busted pipe once everything melts and
pressurizes
it
back up.
goes back.
Yep,
Yeah,
that's
it
exactly it.
shrinks, and so
Fuck. It's
I
going to
know.
be crazy.
I know.
Yeah.
Plumbers, dude, they're going to be
They are the new
high demand for the next few months, I think.
Yeah.
So.
It's nuts.
Our neighbor though, so his busted pipe, he thought for sure he was going to have to wait a couple weeks, and they came out today. Isn't that what you said?
2 days
They
later.
got them all. His was his. So was
So he
his
had the pool, and then he had one
so he
inside
had
the
two
house.
busts.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yep. So
count ourselves lucky, count our blessings.
we were close. Yeah. So
Yeah.
we did have the one outside that broke. I was able to fix that, but I confirmed with a few people that what I did was it's going to work.
Like, now
Yep.
permanently or just temporarily?
Eventually, we'll have a plumber come out and
Okay, but there's
fix it.
not like a
There's no
fire.
rush.
It'll be good for
for my
a month
uncle,
or 2
who's
months.
been a general contractor forever and ever and ever. So, Daisy, what's happening? How you doing? Oh, you made it on. So Daisy's a new watcher she's over from the gym.
Oh,
So
hi, Greg and Greg's wife.
her name's Beth.
I was gonna say, my
Just so
name's
you
Beth.
know. Yeah. So
I mean,
choppy
not
show
that I
tonight,
don't like being
but
Greg's wife, but
the internet at our house is a little sketchy. So if it's
yeah.
jumping all over the place,
So
you
Daisy
guys.
does jiu-jitsu with you?
Yep.
Awesome.
Yep. So I
Go,
was just
Daisy,
reading through
go.
some of the comments here. You guys, it's just been an interesting few days. And Beth mentioned earlier that it's just tiring. You're like, what the fuck?
Well, I think it's mentally exhausting because you're worrying about so many things, but at the same time, it's dark and cloudy.
Well,
Our
yesterday
gyms are closed because
yesterday
there's no
was great
electricity.
when I was trying to fix the other shit.
Yeah.
Or no, day before yesterday. And then it got gray and cloudy and it was cold
Right.
and I was dealing with a water pipe
Right.
fucking freezing my shit
But
off.
then our gyms are closed, so we're not working out, which
I think
means
ours is open as long as there's electricity.
Yours?
You can get in. Yeah.
I don't, but if there's no electricity,
Yeah.
so it'll go back to normal. But yeah, I'm tired. I don't know why I'm tired. I mean, I'm sleeping enough. Oh God, we pulled out an electric blanket. I forgot how wonderful those things are when it's cold.
Yeah, it was funny. So that's one of the things. Like our house is staying relatively warm. It's bouncing between like 67 and 70, which is
65
good.
to 70.
65 to 70.
Depending upon where in the house it's at.
Yeah.
But
which is good. So we're fine with that. And we just bundle up, wear extra stuff or whatever. But Beth goes, don't we have an electric
we
blanket?
have 2 of them.
One's in the travel
Nope,
trailer.
I found it. It's in this room over here.
Oh, we should have used that.
That's all right.
Oh, then
I don't
I
care.
knew we had another one.
Right.
And
We have a queen size and a king size.
I never thought we used that the last time was in Colorado
We bought
Springs.
both of those when we lived in Colorado Springs because it's so cold.
And I never
like this
thought
all the
I would
time,
have to
like-
use a fucking electric blanket.
But weren't you glad I thought of it?
Yeah. It's made it, dude. Yeah, absolutely.
Because the house is trying so hard to heat. It's just
And these houses are insulated like shit.
I did not
Every outlet, it's
realize how
fucking- you can
crappy
feel
our
the cold air coming
insulation was
through.
until I was like, why do I completely feel a breeze?
Like the back wall is right behind Beth.
yeah.
I guarantee. Put your hand on the wall. Is it cold
Compared to what?
compared to like everything else?
I mean, it's not.
It's kind
I
of
don't
curious.
know. I can't confirm or deny that. But I mean, every outlet that I went to go, like, because I have this heater that's because I'm frugal, right? So even during the regular winter, I make us sleep like in the cold at 65 degrees at nighttime. So we have a little heater that we have in our bedroom. I've been carrying it around with me everywhere, and every time I go to plug it in somewhere, I'm like, why can't I just completely feel this breeze? And then there's me going, there's got to be a way you can insulate this house. There's got to be like,
No, you don't
blow
just
it?
get
Can
to
you blow
insulate
it?
the
And
house.
Can you put a hole in the wall and blow it in the wall?
No.
I mean,
Because there's boards that go down each one. I don't know.
Got to be a way.
So again, or watch it on YouTube. Hey, can't blame you if you give up. We'll be reposting this out a little bit later so you guys can watch the actual stream. That it'll be a nice clean stream and I can follow along with you guys.
Miss Cambianca said, crazy how you can keep it all cool when it's 113. I mean, yes and no.
I don't mind hot. Like
I prefer the hot over cold.
So that's
Like,
one of the things that I have. We'll kind of jump around in our notes because it's really just talking points for this.
well, because with the storm, everything else in the world is not important apparently. Because I could find
there's
nothing that wasn't related to the storm for topics that might be fun. I was like, I'm tired of this damn storm.
So one of the things where is it on my notes? Just comparing like Texas. So I've lived in New Hampshire. I was born in Portland, lived in New Hampshire. I've lived all over the country. My dad was Marine Corps, so we traveled a lot. It's on the very bottom of the first page. Traveled all over. I've lived in really cold places. Beth and I lived in Colorado Springs for a few years. We've lived in really hot weather. We lived in Phoenix I lived there for almost 20
Lloyd
years.
said you can add insulation. You can drill a hole and add insulation.
Can you? Okay.
Suck it.
Hey, there you go. You want to imagine how much that fucking thing would cost for this house? We need a smaller house. Anyway, going back, it's like in northern states and stuff like that, it's just part of
How are they so much better prepared?
because it's not that number one, like New Hampshire,
Right.
Just think about like cleaning the roads and doing
We don't even
maintaining-
have.
No, there's no
There's
salt
no.
or sand
There's no.
trucks or
There's
something.
no
So that's one thing.
plows. There's
That's all
no
gone.
sand trucks.
Like all that shit's fine.
Well, until tonight.
So that's all normal. Like
Right.
it's built into the infrastructure within, like everything's hardened. What I mean by that, it's like got backups and backups.
Okay.
Right. If the systems go down, you have backups. Plus, like when I lived in New Hampshire, we had like 2 cords of wood in our backyard all the time. Right. And I'd be out there splitting that was a chore that I did. I split wood. Here, how many of you motherfuckers own an axe? Right? Yeah. But I mean, that actually are going to be splitting wood.
No, I mean we
Right,
own
that
an
live-
axe, but
That are splitting wood to heat your house.
right.
Right. And
Oh,
things
in
like
New
that.
Hampshire
Yeah.
or up north?
Like
oh,
here. You
yeah.
don't it's just not a common thing. Like you have a fire in your fireplace a couple times a year because it hits 30.
Right.
You're like, I want a fire in my fireplace, Beth. Right.
Right. It's 38. Doesn't even have to
whatever,
hit 30.
yeah.
I'm like 38. Time for fire.
And now all of a sudden you're like, oh shit, I actually need. So it's like, hey, is that a skill you could build?
Because everybody wanted a fire, especially people without power. Mm-hmm. You can't find a piece of wood or one of those logs.
He even bought like 6 logs, and they were like long, so he had to cut them with his chainsaw again for $40.
Where do you buy those?
Over at Home Depot parking lot. We have wood out back. We're good.
Okay. So he found somebody
He
selling
found some,
wood.
yeah.
Okay.
Right, and you just think about it, it's like those little things, right?
Well, and we had wood, but you were saying that the oak was so hard that it wasn't burning because it was so big, and so I was like, "What? Get up! What are you gonna do, babe? You're gonna have to find some. You're gonna have to make some smaller pieces." And you were like, "Mother, blah blah blah."
I did.
Mother clucker,
didn't I? Yeah, it's just.
And it was the best fire we've probably ever had in this house.
Yep, it was good.
Now,
so
we haven't had any more because we only have big chunks of wood now.
We're good though. We only got to make it 36 more hours.
36 more hours.
We'll sleep in the car. But hey, also,
I'll go get that.
There's people like in Texas that don't know better, that don't realize carbon and monoxide can kill you.
Yeah.
There's been like 30 deaths from people.
I was thinking about that today. Like I was thinking about
bringing
how many
charcoal grills in their house.
Seriously? Well, I mean, you get desperate and you don't think but you don't think about it, I was also thinking like
starting their car in their garage.
Now that I don't.
Like, there's too many movies about people doing that shit.
They didn't think about cracking the garage. I don't
know.
You
just open the garage, pull it out, and sit in the car for a little bit.
Because they're probably trying to
Or go for a ride. Don't just sit there because the carbon monoxide.
And they probably were doing it to charge their phones too,
So go
because.
For a ride.
But I was thinking, I was like, I wonder how many, because they're really encouraging people to do welfare checks on the elderly. Mm-hmm. They did open up like a couple convention centers, and like one in Converse, one downtown, where people could go for warmth. So they did finally start doing that. But it's just crazy. Like this town doesn't know what to do with it, and I think a lot of people are being really good sports. There are a lot of people who are pissed though, because they're like, what the hell? Why have I been forgotten? And it's not. I mean, you can't get mad about it because there's nothing you can do. What you can do. I went to our closet downstairs and I pulled out a shit ton of sweatshirts that I have not worn, like A&M sweatshirts that are like 15 years old that I haven't worn.
Right.
I had so many layers on yesterday. I was like, I don't even care if I look like the kid from Christmas Story. Can't put my arms down.
She put a picture. I
did put a picture on my Facebook page. I had a long sleeve jersey shirt, a sweater, and then a sweatshirt on top of that. And then I finally pulled out my big jacket that we got in Colorado that's like to negative 20 or something.
Fucking 60 below jacket.
So I wasn't even cold when I would go outside. But the problem was once I started putting all those layers on, it was like, I can't zip it up. I figured it out though. But yeah, so it's been, I mean, you and I are pretty good sports about this shit. We kind of try to approach it like an adventure. Like, all right, what can we do? How can we make this fun?
Well, yeah, and that's the other thing is like, and then we just try and take care of our neighbors, and we've always done that though. It's like just make sure everybody's kind of. You can give people some wood. You can make sure that they've got water. You can do whatever, and that's really been a cool thing. That's kind of my feel good for today. I'll jump ahead. Just kind of incorporate that in. Is my feel good is like our neighborhood has been absolutely coming together.
Well, when we didn't have water Monday morning, it was amazing to me. Like the neighbor next door brought us this big thing of water. Ian was like,
because you can't flush toilets when you don't have water.
Come over and get whatever you need. They also
like,
offered showers to Ron and his wife.
Oh crap, literally. And you're like, what the fuck? Right?
Yes.
And I normally have bottles of water, like jugs of water sitting out. I just emptied them out.
Yeah. Because you thought they sat too long, right? Because they were tap water?
Yeah.
From the last time we went camping or something?
To the ranch.
Oh, to the ranch.
Yeah, so they just sat there, and I was like, I don't need those. Fucking idiot. I'm always going to have those things full now.
I know you are.
Just in case.
Well, we're boiling water now for the dogs.
Yep. But in seriousness, like we've had pipe freezes, power outages. It's rolling outages, right? So people are getting it on.
Some people are rolling, but they're saying it's ridiculous. Like it's coming on for 10 seconds.
That's what I'm saying. It's coming on for like a minute.
And then being off for 10 minutes. And then coming on for 10 seconds. And it's like, what can you even do with that?
Can't do anything.
My boss has been without power nonstop since Monday. They can't get a hotel room because everything's booked.
Yep.
from other people trying to get out of their houses.
I would literally shut the water off, shut everything off, turn off all your lights, get a fucking plane ticket, and be in Florida.
Well, no flights are flying out, dude.
They are now.
Well, now, but
Fuck
when it was really cold, you could.
Come
Everything
back
was
when shit's
canceled.
back to normal. There's nothing else you can
What are you
do.
gonna do with the dogs? Fancy dreamer. It's not gonna happen.
Pour a bunch of dog food on the floor.
Oh, you're such an ass. I'd be like, bye, Greg. I'm staying with the dogs. They'll keep me warm.
Yeah, no. So gas. So I went out and
Yeah.
Beth mentioned gas.
I
right?
read. They said on the news today that there was going to be a gas shortage.
Right,
You know?
because now you have trucking. There was
So they planted that seed, and now they've actually
And
caused the gas shortage.
I just was like, I'll go look. So I went and I just got gas because I needed gas in my truck. I was down to like a quarter tank anyway.
Right.
And I drive my truck everywhere. So like that's the vehicle that we go around. And I can put the dogs in it.
Right.
All of that. And then so all 3 of the gas stations up by us were already out of gas.
Right.
HEB corner store was a goddamn, and they've got like
15 pumps.
no
16. They've got probably 8 and 8,
at least
or maybe 24.
or something. Yeah, on
Something,
each
18
side.
to 24. Yeah.
Right. And I was like, holy shit. And they had a gas truck there filling them up. So I was like, all right, I'm going to go down a little ways. There's
And
a
come back if I need to.
And check that. A QT was there. Across the street, there's another gas station.
Shell.
And I was like, yeah. And they had some cars there
at which one?
at the Shell.
Okay.
And I was like, fuck it. I'm already in line for QT because I was kind of like not quite pulled in. I was like, should I just jam around? Looked like there's some spots. I'm glad I stayed in that
There's no
line.
gas over there.
By the time I kind of pulled in and around, the person was out there putting bags on all the.
They said
handles.
this at 9 o'clock. The first time I saw it was at 9 o'clock this morning. And I'm sure they probably said it again at the news, the noon news. And then they probably said it again at the 5 o'clock news. And so now here's the problem when you say stuff like that. You actually are driving the shortage because you're making everybody panic. And they're going out and filling their car.
I was going to get beer anyway.
Well, and I said, you need to gas up.
Yeah. My truck.
And I wanted to gas up my car, but I've got a little over half a tank. I should probably be fine.
You're fine. And yours
Between
is
the two
back
of
up
us.
anyway.
Yeah, between the
Right.
two of
Mine,
us.
it's got the 36-gallon tank, so it's fine. Yeah. But yeah, no, it was just kind of crazy, and I wasn't expecting to see that quickly. You know how quickly.
The thing that I think is it's just gonna take a while, unfortunately, to get everything cleaned up from a perspective of water power, electric power,
The
home
services
repairs,
that we
home
need.
repairs,
Home
kind
repairs
of
are
things
going to
too.
be a
Yeah.
while. And
Can
some
you
of these
imagine so
bad
many
ones.
insurance claims are gonna because you've got all these people without power, so you're gonna have your food spoilage, which is covered by your insurance.
By the way, we're in insurance. If you never knew that.
yeah, which is covered by your insurance. Your busted pipes, unless you've
It's all-
got specific coverage for
No, it's
that,
all- no, it's
that's
all-
sudden.
Yeah, you have coverage for sudden and
I thought sudden
no,
wasn't
sudden
covered.
is it's where it's a slow drip maintenance kind of thing.
I'm doing
that
it
you don't-
backwards.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So they absolutely are covered, but dude,
Still a pain in the ass.
key is
and it's
going
gonna
to
take months to get material.
To get shit to your
Well, and
house.
it's also going to be high demand for carpets and what is this stuff? Drywall and
Yep.
all that stuff. So it's going to take a while to.
It's a big, and that's.
I mean,
through
your
the
brother's wasn't
whole
even during a storm, and his took like 4 months.
He's not done. He's just getting his floor in. Florida,
So
good.
I mean, again,
But in all seriousness,
think-
kind of going
yeah,
back,
it went out
right?
again.
I'm not trying to harp on it, but it's an interesting situation to have happen in a place that it really puts a point out there about like, fuck, like Texas is ready for almost everything. There's infrastructure, you have military, you do have plenty of electrical services. You have, you have 4 different nuclear service or stations or whatever, or 3 or something like that. You've got wind turbines, you've got solar, you've got all of these things, but a fucking 4-day snowstorm can shut
catapulted out the
all that
window.
shit down. So it makes you have to go back and look
So
at
here's
it.
the other thing. I'm curious to see what utility and water bills are going to be like over the next several months, because I wonder if they're going to be like, okay, sorry, we have to charge everybody an extra $100 to help the infrastructure get back set up. Or, I mean, we have solar, so while I know it will still go up, it won't be as bad as if we didn't have solar.
Yeah.
And that may be another reason why we didn't run out of power, because our draw is a little less from them because we
It
provide
still goes
some
through
of the
the
solar.
system.
I
It
don't
still
know.
goes through the
Yeah,
electrical system.
That's true.
You know,
So
because it's
I
not
guess
like we have our own
that
solar
shoots
banks.
that.
But that's the next thing I'm fucking buying. I'm getting
batteries that you can fill.
the systems you can get.
Do they even have those yet?
Yep.
How much are they?
Probably 10 grand, but
cheap.
just to have one that you can just run some shit off of is worth it.
Yeah, maybe.
Right?
I don't know.
Fuck.
We'll see.
Again, I've mentioned this a few times. There's a lot of joking going on about like, oh, Texas, you're so tough, blah, 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 blah. It's not about that, dude.
We are tough bitches.
I can handle fucking anything, and most people here can handle anything. Like,
we are.
cold is cold. Whatever, you deal with it.
Right.
Especially when you know it's not like forever. But there are a lot of elderly people, and this is in disabled people that this makes me think about, or just people that just can't handle shit like this, right?
Right.
And you're already coming off a pandemic.
Right.
You're coming off, or you're not coming off of. We're
You're
still
working
in
through.
it, working through it. People still don't have jobs in a lot of cases. Shit like that's happening. But I go back and I think about, okay, my mom. My mom was on oxygen. She had to have oxygen.
Right.
Right. And she lived in New Hampshire, and that was one of the big concerns we had when she moved from Arizona up there. Is
the cold.
What happens if like power goes out? And I always knew that my aunt was right down the road. They could pick her up. They've got generators. They've got everything. But people that live in an apartment by themselves and they're on an oxygen system, and it's basically like a plug-in oxygen unit.
Right.
And runs a O2 hose around the house.
Right.
Or they have bottles.
Right.
Right. The green like oxygen bottles, basically.
Right.
Those only last so long. Right. And if you have to have that to fucking breathe.
Right.
That's a simple thing that like you can't do. Or what if there's a million
wheelchair
reasons
that you can't charge.
Yeah, there's a million
recharge your battery on
reasons
your wheelchair.
that this is not. While we can joke about it, it can be very, very, very serious for some people.
Well, okay, so this kind of at hand is a bit of a joke, but then you also have people like yourself yesterday who try to do things they've never done before and almost blow up my kitchen.
Blow my hand off?
Blow up my kitchen and give yourself first-degree burns on your hands. And, so there's going to be an increase of that kind of shit. Yeah, new rule. Now, new rule in the house, if you haven't done it before, you do it outside. You don't do anything in the house you've never done before. I'm in a meeting. I'm literally in a meeting.
Just a blowtorch. No big deal.
I'm literally in a meeting, and I'm like talking, and I hear boom, boom, I hear cussing. I'm like, I'm going to need to put you on hold for a second because I just heard a big kaboom in my kitchen, so I'll be right back. And I come in, and I'm like, what the fuck, dude? And you're like, I just caused the biggest
fireball in
the kitchen. I was like, what the fuck are you thinking? I've never done it before. I'm like, yeah, that's why you do it outside.
No, I have nothing to do with that. I just like didn't expect it.
Yeah.
Whatever. Shit happens.
You make fun of the people. I'm not sorry. I shouldn't say you make fun. You wonder at the people who didn't know not to start their car in the garage. Well, you would have thought that propane in the house.
It wasn't propane.
What is it?
I was filling up a lighter.
With what?
With butane.
Okay, butane. Propane, butane.
And it dripped into the sink.
They're both flammable, right?
It dripped into the sink.
They're both flammable?
At least it was a metal. What?
But so common sense would have said I probably should do this outside so I don't blow anything in my house up.
Probably just shouldn't have hit the light button. Everything would have been fine at that point.
Good gravy.
Whatever.
You're a fucking hot mess.
Whatever.
I love you.
So Miss Kamianka said a mom and daughter died in their car in the garage. She probably didn't know. Yeah, exactly. No. That is very, very sad. I mean, there's so many times that like shit like this it sucks, right? And people but they don't know better.
They don't know.
And if you have a mom who's got a little kid and she's just trying to do what she can try and do.
Well, you had a friend who had no power and they woke up to 14 degrees in their house. I can't even.
Yeah. And
I wonder if they even got
fucking
any sleep that
Texas.
night.
Probably not.
I can't imagine.
So, yeah, I mean, it's an interesting kind of thing. It's a great lesson for everybody to kind of sit back and, hey, watch. Yeah, we can giggle, we can laugh, and do whatever.
You have to sometimes.
We have
to. Yeah,
we always. I mean, it's always some fucking thing.
We always have to laugh, otherwise we'll murder each other after a few days.
We get through some shit pretty good, but hey, let's jump into some entertainment stuff. Let's get off that.
So Sunday was the start of this storm.
Yeah,
and so we were inside.
Valentine's Day. Remember, I won it.
No, you
this
didn't.
Year I won
because
Valentine's
you finally
Day.
admitted that you thought it was on Saturday.
I won.
You did not win. You were disqualified. We've already had this conversation. You false started. You're never going to get me to say you won. So let's just move on.
Stop it.
And then, bitch, you ate the one piece of candy I was saving till the very last out of the box of heart chocolate candies you gave me.
It was fucking delicious.
You don't eat somebody else. You don't eat the gift you gave to somebody, you ding dong.
They were sitting there. I figured she didn't want it.
I was eating one a day.
Oh.
I was trying to ration it out.
Do you know any chocolates you have?
Trying to help me through this freeze.
I bought you bags of Ghirardellis. They're all sitting in there.
Oh, I know. I ate one. I ate one today.
Did you really?
One of the peppermint ones that I bought for myself.
On top of a crumble of Pringle.
I can't believe you knocked my canister down.
That's a poor design, really. They need to have a better design. Pringles sucks as a design.
It's been that design since I think like 1970.
How many women or wives of husbands that have bought the can for them get home and they're all crushed? How many hearts are broken?
You didn't buy this. You accidentally knocked it off the shelf. This didn't
I went, fuck, there goes that.
This didn't come this way. It was perfect yesterday when I opened it, or Monday when I opened it, and I go to grab some today. I'm like, what the hell?
They need to add some Gorilla Glue to those chips. Hold them together a little bit more.
Foam padding in there, just spring them. So Sunday when this shit started, it wasn't bad yet. There weren't any catastrophes or outages. So we made it a movie day.
Yeah, it was good. It was fun.
It was fun.
So we watched a few movies. We watched one that was from like 2015. It was As Above, So Below.
And it wasn't a high. It was a lot of it was the handheld camera. Yeah. It wasn't huge actors. Like we both like the main two characters were from. She's in the new
Magnum PI.
She's the British chick.
The Cloud one.
The
Megamort.
Megastore.
Yeah, whatever. It's on like Fox or something like that.
KMOL, I think. So they were the two. KMOL. That's NBC. Sorry, that's KMOL NBC here in town.
Don't say that. That nobody knows. I thought you said camel or. I thought KMOL. You were having like another fucking stroke or something. KMOL.
Tourette's moment.
KMOL.
It's NBC. But so yeah, we watched that. Then we watched Death of Me, which was.
Death of Me was.
It was interesting.
It was kind of dumb. It just came out on Netflix.
It was okay.
Don't want to be.
I mean, it's not going to change your life, but if you have nothing else to watch,
it'll kill an hour and a half of your life. Yeah, not kill it.
And so it was good. The ending, we predicted it, so it was kind of predictable. Ava, it was.
Ava, so Ava's an action flick.
Yeah.
Who the hell?
It's a kick-ass girl.
Hang on a second.
It's a girl. It's how do I want to say that?
She's like an assassin.
She's an assassin. She's badass.
Yeah.
It's girl power to the nth degree.
Ava, Jessica Chastain.
Yeah, that's what it was. I was gonna say Lang, but that's somebody else. Jessica
Chastain. It was good. That was a good one. Yeah, for sure.
And then we did some of our paranormal. We watched the Hauser Files.
So if you like kind of.
So this is based off of. I don't think we've talked off of this one. This one is based off of Hans Hauser, who was one of the original paranormal investigators.
Yeah,
60s and 70s. Right. It was still considered.
What channel is it on? Remember?
It used to be on Travel Channel. I think now it's on the Discovery Plus channel.
Okay.
But he was one of the founding fathers of paranormal, studies. They're going back and reinvestigating some of his files.
Okay. With today's technology.
Yeah, today's technology. So it's really cool. And so we watched a couple of those. So it was just an entertaining weekend.
Yeah, it was fun. We had a good time. It was cold.
I think of the two Scaries movies we watched, I only jumped and screamed once.
Oh, one of it. So this kind of reminded me.
Oh.
We had a friend talking about like Saturday night into Sunday. We had a friend that got in an accident.
Right. Rolled his car over one of the bridges.
So it was kind of a crazy.
Rolled his truck like 3 times.
Yeah.
And he walked away with it with just a scratch on his head. God bless him.
Anyway, so hope you're feeling better. Doogie Howser? No, the Hauser Files.
Hauser Files.
So Nico's on. So we're glitching all over the internet right now. So if you're on now, hey, just
we're down to 2.
You know,
they're trying, but
speaking. So but yeah, we'll be posting this out. I'll post this out here.
So that was fun. I've been reading some books.
Yeah, so give us a book update.
So I've been reading. It's called. Let's see, where's it at? It is part of. It's 3 different authors that have written a book each. Where did it go? Oh, it's called. They're called the Kings of Football series, and it was a revenge pack, a relationship pack, and a romantic pack.
Can you share your picture. Good to share there. What's the name of the book?
The one I'm reading now is the 3rd one, and it's called the Relationship Pack.
What are you looking for?
What do you want me to share?
Just the pictures of it, so people know what to look for.
So this is the third one. This, I mean, you gotta, if you're looking for a book to change your lives,
No, these are just
this is not.
entertainment,
This is just,
right? Yeah.
this is my pervy. So it's called the Relationship Pack.
Which
and
one
it's
is it?
This one right here.
There you go.
I'll just show you the cover.
The Relationship Pack.
They're all three of them have semi-nude men on them, and they're young and hot. So that's always
That's what draws you in.
totally 100%.
Crazy cougar. Crazy her.
But so they're super easy reads. I think the first one was like quote unquote 4 hours to read. The second one was like 6 hours. I think this one says it's like this one says it's 4 hours, 5 hours. So
You know what somebody should do with one of these is do like a choose your own adventure.
What do you mean? How would you do that?
Just like you do a choose your own adventure book. Remember those back in the day? Did you
Nope.
ever read one of those? Basically, you have like a story arc, and then it says, for this, go to page 84. For this, go to page 65.
That's stupid.
They were fun as shit.
When you were 12.
But if you could do that and you get a book like that thick, and how you can go and you can actually literally change
Read
the
it 4 different times.
because it'll have like 4 different endings.
No, that's too much work.
See, but it could be fun.
Nope. It's too
Like
much work.
Steven and Jessica got together with blah 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 and did this and that on the yacht down in the Mediterranean. Or the other one's
Hey, for
like
never reading them,
Steven
you
and
kinda
Jessica
know.
went to the moon and did it upside down, inside out, and backwards
Shut up.
twice.
So, but I
Fuck it, right?
Paige
Why
did
wouldn't
show
you want to
me-
do that?
Paige did show me. You don't have to turn it on. Paige
Okay.
did. She's a huge TikToker,
TikTok.
and so she was like, "Hey, these books came highly recommended, and they're books by Sierra. What's her name? Shit. Sierra Simone, and it's
Okay.
like 6 books, and they're called the New Camelot book series, and they kind of like this first one is a modern take on Sir Lancelot, Guinevere, and King Arthur. Good gravy. That
I'm
took
like,
me a second.
Yeah, I was trying to get there, but I'm like going through all the knights of
Yeah.
the round table and
So
stuff.
it's like a take on there because you know how they like it's rumored that she was in love with both of them, so
Mhm.
it's kind of rumored off that. And then they're all supposed to be like off the Camelot series. We'll see. They all came high. They all have like this one has 1,008 5-star reviews, which is
pretty good
decent.
for like a small right.
And I have
So
a
those
requirement.
books,
You
are
have
they
to have 350 4.5 to 5-star reviews for me to read you.
Oh, god damn.
Anything less than that, unless it seems really enticing, either by the cover and the brief description, then I might read you. And I've found some really good books doing that. But for the most part, you got to be at least 350 to catch my eye.
Start a podcast doing that.
What am I
Doing
going
book
to do?
reviews. Dude, seriously. If you already have standards about the books you'll read or not, evidently you've kind of read a fucking few of them, right?
I've read some.
You're like, so I'm not doing them 2-star bitches.
No.
No.
And if you only have 51, I'm like, that's your family. I'm not reading it. That was your cousins.
That's
and
our
your
podcast.
mom.
What are you talking about?
Touche,
Come on.
sir. That's a very good point. But reading a book and a podcast is a little bit different.
There's a lot more commitment in a book.
It's going to take a lot more than an hour.
Yep.
But
Hey, but we're on episode 86 and we're trying our asses off here.
there we go.
Even rain, snow, shine, sun, winter,
Rain, snow,
hail.
shine, sun. Any weather you can throw at me and internet
She had another stroke.
internet connections. We're going to muster through it.
Yep.
All right. Well,
Try. So, hey,
let's talk some good news.
what do you mean the good news? This
Feel
is all
goods.
good.
Feel
No,
goods. I'm
the
sorry.
Feel good. So my feel good,
Your
I
feel good you
mentioned
already
this earlier,
shared.
yeah. But I do want to add on just a little bit. So I think a lot of people find they're good neighbors and everybody kind of huddles around them, right? But it made me think about like when I lived in Arizona and I had when we lived together and we had an apartment, when I had my apartment, I had a fucking neighbor there that I lived in this one little shitty apartment for 3 years, almost 3 years. And I never, ever, ever met that neighbor ever once for 3 years.
Never saw them?
Never even saw them.
You guys were like on total opposite schedules then.
Or they were like serial killers,
Or that.
one or the other.
And I
Right?
almost died then when I stayed
And
at your house.
our doors were literally like side by side. Remember that little
Mhm.
apartment? They were side by side. I'd hear the door close. I'd like poke my head out. Never see a person. Like I'm ghost. It was weird. So being in a place where like when we lived back in Arizona, We had some really great neighbors. We had some decent neighbors up in Colorado. We had some great friends there, and here we've got some excellent neighbors and just
And
the
they're
neighborhood.
slash friends. They're
And
not only
friends.
neighbors,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
they're
yeah.
friends too.
Yeah.
So
So that really to me is a feel good, especially when you go through things like this, right? And you can lean on other people,
lean on me.
especially before this. We've always lived in places where we didn't have family necessarily.
Right.
So our friends
They
our
became family.
Yeah. And even though our best friends and stuff like that. So that's mine.
Mine is not as sentimental as yours, but we all know I'm a huge dog lover, right? Like I would do anything in the world to be able to make a living off something
Rescue
with
every
dogs.
dog.
There was a dog that was lost for 2 weeks. So the parents took it out. This is in Ireland. The parents took him out. So the German Shepherd named Shepherd named Harley and a golden retriever called Nisha. They took him out for a hike and they were in some exercise and they were playing and they were both startled by a deer, which is really common. Either
Yeah.
startled
Your
or
brother
chasing.
lost a dog.
He lost a dog chasing the deer. Both of them took off. Well, the German Shepherd came back the next day, and they searched for like
Weeks
a
kind of thing.
week and a half when the weather turned bad, and they gave up the search for the golden retriever, and they were just kind of like, well, some hikers, 2 doctors, a couple, decided to go hike this mountain
in the snow or something?
Yeah, even though the weather was bad, and they actually found the dog at
Can you share
almost
it?
in a second. Hold on.
Okay.
Found the dog, not quite at the top of the peak, but
Real close.
real close. So exhausted, it wouldn't get up, it didn't bark, and so they did bring it down the mountain, and they had to get. I mean, it's a golden retriever; these aren't small
Big
dogs.
dog, yeah.
So they started with him or her on the guy's back, but it was so icy that they kept falling. So they rigged something using her scarf so they could keep him in the backpack. And they do have video. So
Yeah, we need to see this. These are those stories where you're like,
yeah, hold on,
just
let's see.
people in the right place, and it sucks. Especially we have a golden. Good God.
Let's see. Okay, let me.
Like, yeah, I would cash in my retirement account to go find that dog. So Beth will post this video out
Well,
later
we can
as well.
play it.
We'll play it now, but Beth can post it out
yeah,
later.
I'm just
as
trying
well.
to see if I can, because I'm
And
trying
then
to get
if
it
you're
to-
if you're listening or whatever, and you want to go out and watch this, it'll be posted out on Facebook page under the Bar
Ready?
is Open with Beth and Greg. Yep. Oh, that's cute. Oh, so he had him up on his shoulder.
That's where he was trying. So I'll let it play the whole time because it's really kind of like you can see.
That dog's done.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's worn out.
I love
That's
how
a
they put
that looks like a kind of younger dog.
and see how they finally like
Just harnessed him into his
harnessed
backpack.
to his
Yeah.
backpack, and he's still like it was still a struggle for them, but the dog wouldn't even walk. Like they couldn't get him
Yeah.
to walk.
And he looked like he was way out there.
He did lose a bunch of weight, and this is when
How
they
long
finally
was it?
2 weeks.
Yeah.
So when they found like they called the parents or the humans, as they say, and they brought him home, and the vet was really super impressed because for outside of being a little malnutritioned and a couple cuts and scrapes, dog was fine. So I just was like, I mean, that face. I'm handling it much better than the first time I saw it. The first time I saw it, I was like, oh my gosh, you know. So
I'm glad. Hey, that's awesome.
That's my feel good.
So absolutely.
Doggy, yes.
So
doggy.
I'm not sure what's going on there. Oh, it's way behind. The screen's way behind. So hey, today in history is a big one for me. So February 17th, 1996. The best movie ever.
It was just on the other day, by the way.
I know. That I think I'm a huge Adam Sandler fan. Always have been. Some of his movies have sucked, of course, but he's had some really good ones. Happy Gilmore came out 25 years ago. So I posted a video of Adam Sandler going out and recreating the drive, the run up and swing, where he runs up to the ball.
Oh,
and
yes.
swings, and he fucking crushed it.
In real life?
In real life, just like yesterday. Or yesterday, I don't know which.
Oh, he just did this again.
Yeah,
I
he
see what
just
you're saying.
recreated
Okay.
it. And then Shooter, the guy that his his nemesis from it,
Yeah.
does another. He's like, "Hey, Shooter, how about that?" Right? And then Shooter has another video. I can't remember the actor's name, and he puts it in. And he's like, pew, pew. right? So it's pretty good. Yeah. So it was fun to see. It was fun to check out. So
Good.
hey guys, go out, make the fire, do something good for your neighbors if you need to. You know, if anybody
For
here,
someone else.
for somebody else, right? If you can, you know, just help people out. That's one thing I think we learn when we go through fucking shit like this, right? It's just the only way we can get through this stuff is take care of one another. So, you know, we'll post this out here in a little bit. Make the fire, take care of each other, be good to one another. Ian, come get a beer. Evan, Haley, we miss you. Cheers. Thanks, military, first responders, and all of you folks. Without you, we can't do this. So thank you so much.
Good night, guys.
And have a great night. Take care.